Thanks to Prakash ji and Vidisha for inviting me here. I think it's a wonderful session, and I've seen a lot of good questions come up. We have had a time crunch, so I would want this session to be as interactive as possible. I will not take up a lot of your time. I'll try and just take you through what the CIMA qualification is all about. So it's, again, we have a lot of 4 alphabets roaming around in the room today. So the CIMA's equivalent of ACCA or IFRS is CGMA, Chartered Global Management Accounting, which is basically after, so it's as of now, done with AICPA and CIMA coming together to form a new management accounting accreditation, which is called CGMA. But before we understand what CGMA is, let's understand what management accounting is. So Vidisha started on with management accounting, eloquently put it as a sort of a mix between MBA as we have it and also Indian Chartered Accountancy, which I think is absolutely correct. But apart from that, I think management accounting is more about not just looking at the numbers that we have in the books, which is as BCom graduates or as CA we are all pretty well aware of. It's more about looking at the numbers and interpreting them and sending a vision or sending a status to the management, to the leadership, saying, okay, if your financials are so and so, this is what you mean out of them. This is how you interpret them. So it's more from strategic decision-making, planning, understanding, forecasting purposes that we use in management accounting for, not just pure number crunching and reporting. So with that in mind, with that being there, let's look at the demand for management accountants in India, in Kolkata as well. When I started on with my CIMA career about 4 or 5 years back, most people hadn't heard of ACMA, which was the earlier accreditation. People did not know about CIMA. Most of them associated with the art gallery that we have somewhere in Gadiahat. So, because people still do that actually. The people still say, I say I'm a CIMA graduate. People say, isn't that supposed to be somewhere you hang portraits and then no, art? And I tell them, no, it's actually a Chartered Institute of Management Accounting. So that way our ACCA counterparts have a lot more popularity. But over the last 5 years, I've seen a lot of evolution happening. That is to say, I've seen a lot of people understanding CIMA, thanks to Prakash ji and Vidisha, who have sort of pioneered the CIMA qualification from the Kolkata end. Thanks to CIMA Institute in itself, who has worked a lot and very hard in India, especially Eastern India, to sort of popularize the course and make it simpler as well. So, in terms of demand, if we say, I think more and more I'm seeing job opportunities for management accountants, which specifically harps on the fact that they have to be either an ACCA or a CGMA. And CGMA is getting more and more, shall I say, hits. The reason being, it's sort of a merger between AICPA as well as CIMA. So no one looks at CGMA as a pure accounting thing. They look of it as more of a management accounting degree, which helps you understand numbers, helps you planning, helps you do forecasting, budgeting, financial analysis, go beyond, and gives you a global edge to it. We have talked a lot about global today. So it's plain simple. It's not just looking at a balance sheet or looking at a trial balance, looking at a P&L statement or your financial records, a cash flow, and saying, okay, this is how it's going. It's evolution across, looking at the numbers across last X number of years, seeing how things are evolving for the particular, industry, how it's evolving across in terms of the, in terms of the economic situation of the country in itself. So everything put together, management accounting helps you in understanding the business as it is overall, rather than just concentrating on numbers. Now, I have been working for last, I think for 13 years now, and I've taken a fair number of interviews. I've hired people for, chartered accountants, I've hired cost accountants, I've even had an odd ACCA person come with us from Mumbai. So yeah, I've had a fair bit of idea of how to hire people and what we hire based on. And it's not just Capgemini I'm talking about. Across all multinational companies, we have a fair bit of fair fixed protocols, as I said, when it comes to hiring for financial controlling, management accounting kind of roles. So from that perspective, I think it's fair to say that if you do either of these activities or either of these qualifications, if you are a CGMA qualified person or an ACCA or even an IFRS for that matter sake, it's not just that you're adding on additional 4 letters to your name. It's you are telling to the prospective recruiter that I've got a capacity which is beyond just India, beyond just Kolkata, beyond just some small company, few 100 million worth of company in India. I have the capability to represent you and your company in the global arena. And that's what CGMA stands for as well. It's a global qualification that helps you present yourself in the whole world. After qualification, when I went around, to Paris, to London, to Singapore, and I asked people, in similar forums, when we talk about CIMA or when we talk about ACCA or qualifications, a question which often comes up is, how relevant do you think it's in business? I mean, yeah, it's fair to say students don't have, after graduation, they want to do something, so what they should do for a course, they can either do a local chartered course or a local costing course, or they can do something which is global. And most of them in today pick global. And I say, it's not just picking up a global course which helps you, it's also how you are, what's your mentality with regards to approaching for that course, how you want to do it, how serious you are about it. As Prakash mentioned, it's just 2.5 hours of study a day, and I absolutely agree to it. It is 2.5 hours to 3 hours of study a day, not more than that. You put in that much of effort, and you ultimately, clear the exams for ACCA or CGMA. You would have a confidence in you. You will have a capability in you based on the course material that immediately, tells the recruiter that okay, this one person is different from, let's say, a normal run-of-the-mill chartered accountant. This one person is different from any other cost accountant that we have. So you have an edge to yourself, and ultimately that's all you have. Your qualification helps you put your CV in front of the hiring person or the recruiter. From there on, it's your own capability. That no one can actually help you with. That's how well you are groomed. But with regards, if this qualification will help you put yourself in the table, yes, it would. CGMA helps put your CVs onto the table of the recruiters. And trust me, I know that because I look at profiles and I see, okay, this person is a CGMA, this person has done ACMA, this person has got IFRS qualification, this person is a CMA. Let's give this person a chance vis-a-vis over a normal chartered accountant. I make that call, and I make that biased call, if I may say. Because I know that the chartered accountant will have a vision which penetrates from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and from Ahmedabad to maybe Kolkata or Northeast. It will not go beyond this country. Whereas any of these global courses penetrates way beyond this country. And it's not just ACCA, both of these are British courses, and both of these are based out of UK. CMA is based out of US, AICPA is based out of US. You've got global qualifications which is coming to India, coming to Kolkata. Prakash and Vedisha is making it happen here in Kolkata. And if you take it up, and if you actually give your time and effort into it, give your passion into it, you yourself will realize that day after tomorrow you'll be standing here delivering this speech, or she would be standing here, delivering this speech or telling the next generation of students why you felt that this was a good idea to take, why doing a CGMA was the best thing or doing an ACC was the best thing you could have done for yourself, really. So with that, I really would want to end my bit of it. I'm happy to field any questions you have based on the industry acceptance of CGMA or jobs and opportunities and so on and so forth.
What is the kind of job profile that probably you are doing, or what will I explain to people what I will be doing? Why would the company want me? As a chartered accountant, I will even get this, means I will even do the number crunching and everything. But after doing CIMA, what will be my job profile like in any company?
You will have people who will be doing the number crunching for you with the advent of technology and cloud computing and Internet of Things, and with new and new Oracle systems coming up, your number crunching gets down to zero. We don't need people to do the number crunching anymore. We have got machines to do the number crunching for us. And I'm not talking of Tally here, I'm talking of really, really intelligent systems who do everything for us. We click a button on a sheet, the entire set of journal entries, entire evolution, every single entry in the P&L gets done, and a report comes out saying, okay, sir, this is your final version of the P&L, this is your final balance sheet, accept it, hit enter to accept, or do not hit enter to put further entries. So you don't have to do the number crunching. As a management accountant or as a financial controller, your role would be to look at that data and interpret it for the leadership, because the leadership is not just finance. Leadership is looking at the entire business. The CEO of an organization or the project manager of a certain project will not have any idea what the financials are. They will just know, okay, whether my company is going in profit or whether my company is going in loss, which is not just sufficient in a competitive economy. So it's your task as a finance controller, as a management accountant, to interpret those numbers for them, feed it to them saying, sir, this is, your P&L shows XYZ, it means so. Your profitability is going up from last year by so and so ratio. Your overall margin is going up, your contribution is coming down, your costs are high, your support function costs are high. Your overall revenue is probably coming down. Your profit is still high because you're controlling your costs, but your revenue is coming down. You evolve your numbers, you look at your numbers and you tell them where things are not going proper. So you slice the same data. Ultimately, financials has got three major things. You've got your P&L, you've got your balance sheet, and you've got your cash statements. It's slicing the same 3 documents in as many possible ways as you can, and that's the job of a management accountant. And that's, when you look at risks, when you look at a company, you look at risks. You understand the risk and see, okay, what risk is, and how will this risk have an impact in my numbers? You evolve according to the situation, and that's what a CGMA tells you to do. That's how it trains you to do. And in a real-time basis, they give you case studies, and they expect you to finish those case studies. When you go through the case studies and once you clear it out, you realize that you have actually taken 5 decisions together, which in a real-life situation you will take if you were in the job. And that's how the case studies are for CGMA. You have a PER session, yes. You have a 3 years. You can do that along with your studies.
Is it like that those years we need to work in India, or we have opportunities abroad as well? And if it is based on India, what is the take of employers here?
Your PER is basically based on your records, based on your experience. You could be working day to day. I mean, Prakash will probably explain it better, but you can do your normal job. Let's say you're working after your graduation, after your, chartered accountancy, you're doing a work somewhere. You can submit those records, those experience as your PER records, and they will get counted. They need.
Undergraduate, so I don't have any job.
Fair enough. So then you go in for an articleship, or you start once you become a graduate. You continue on with your CIMA along with your job. You start looking for a job, preferably because you're a BCom in finance field, and the PER requirements are actually not necessarily always very high funda. They have got 18 months which are in the core specific criteria for experiences, which moves across forecasting, budgeting, core financials, and so on and so forth. But there are sections of it which are quite simple, which can be done by a normal graduate. So once you are out of your, once you're done with your graduation, you can move into any of those, I would say offshoring organizations. You can move into as an internship with any of the Indian companies. Start on with your job, finish off your CIMA, or do both of these along with it. Once you're done with your 3 years of experience behind you, just submit that record. And we have got very, very excellent people sitting in UK onshore, as well as people sitting here in Mumbai who do the evaluations for evaluations of your PER record and say if this has got a chance of success, or what else actually you need in your career to actually for you to get that particular certification finalized. In terms of salary, you would command whatever you would get if you were a graduate, because that's what you're starting as. Once you finish off your qualification, once you get certified, that's when you can command a different pay package. But up until that time, you're just one of all of us struggling here to get put our breaths together. Yes.
Is there any difference between this CMA UK and CMA US?
I would leave the CMA question for my colleague here. CIMA UK is ACMA and CGMA. Associate Chartered Management Accountant, or after the discussions with AICPA in US, they have made it Chartered Global Management Accountant. So any other acronyms that we have had earlier, we can just keep them aside.
And CMA UK is a separate.
CMA UK, I think, is at par with CMA US. So CMA UK.
Maybe I'm asking a wrong question. Maybe I'm confused with it.
Okay. For the sake of answer, I can say it's Chartered Management Accountant. I don't know which institute gives that to you, though.
Okay, maybe there's chances that maybe it's 100% sure that I'm confusing the 2 degrees. It may be so.
CMA US, which is how it is. You can do it from UK. That's it's just like you can do a CMA degree of US from UK. That's not. But the CIMA degree or the CIMA accreditation that we have is ACMA and CGMA. ACMA is CIMA's own, and CGMA is after we have the. Let me ask, are you working somewhere?
Yes, sir. I'm just working in a small audit firm.
So you're a chartered accountant?
No, I'm a cost accountant. I've left with one group of CA Final 2, Group 2.
You mean CIMA? CGMA. Okay, so advantages of CGMA in bullet.